The soft hum of conversation and clinking silverware fills the elegant restaurant. Daniel Carter, a billionaire known for his sharp business instincts, strides in confidently, his expensive suit blending seamlessly with the luxurious ambiance. He's here for an important business meeting. Yet as he scans the room, his mind suddenly snaps away from work. He freezes. Across the room, a waitress moves between tables, balancing a tray with practiced ease. But something about her stops him cold. Her posture, the way she brushes a loose strand of hair behind her ear. It's shockingly familiar. Daniel leans forward, squinting slightly as the woman approaches a nearby table. Then it hits him. Emily Green, his best friend from high school. The one who once dreamed of changing the world. The girl who was always top of their class, filled with ambition, energy, and fire. But now, she looks exhausted, the spark in her eyes dimmed. The confidence she once carried now replaced by quiet fatigue. Daniel's mind races. How did this happen? How did someone as brilliant and determined as Emily end up waiting tables instead of running her own company? As she turns, she finally catches sight of him. Their eyes lock, and for a split-second time stand still. What happened to Emily? How did she end up here? Emily's grip on the tray tightens the moment she locks eyes with Daniel Carter. A flood of memories rushes in. Late-night study sessions, graduation day, the endless dreams they once shared. But instead of joy, a pang of shame washes over her. She quickly looks away, pretending not to recognize him. Maybe he won't say anything. Maybe he'll let it go. But deep down, she knows better. Daniel stands up, his eyes still filled with disbelief. "Emily, is that really you?" Emily forces a polite, practiced smile, the kind she's perfected for customers who never bother to look twice at her. "Hey, Daniel. Wow, it's been a long time." Daniel studies her, confused. "Yeah, too long. What are you doing here?" She shrugs, shifting her weight awkwardly. "Just working. Got to make ends meet somehow." She tries to sound casual, unaffected, but Daniel sees right through it. His brows furrow. This wasn't the Emily he remembered, the fearless girl who once talked about building her own company, making a difference in the world. He shakes his head, still trying to process it. "Emily, you were supposed to change the world." His voice is soft, but firm, filled with genuine concern. Emily glances down, avoiding his gaze. The weight of his words is too much. "Life doesn't always go as planned," she murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel's chest tightens. What happened? What struggles had she faced that led her here? What struggles has Emily been through? Daniel leans forward, watching Emily's forced smile slowly fade. He can tell she's holding something back. The girl he once knew, the one who believed she could conquer anything, is barely there anymore. With a sigh, Emily lowers her voice, her fingers gripping the tray a little tighter. "You really want to know what happened?" she asks, forcing out a small, bitter laugh. Daniel nods, his expression softening. "Of course. What happened, Emily?" She takes a deep breath, then begins. "I had a full-ride scholarship. I was on my way to everything I had ever dreamed of." Her eyes darken, and she swallows hard. "Then my mom got sick." Daniel stiffens, his heart sinking. Medical bills started piling up. I tried to balance school and working 2 jobs, but it wasn't enough. When she passed away, she pauses, trying to hold back the pain in her voice. I had to drop out. My little brother and sister had no one else. Daniel watches as the weight of the past year settles on her shoulders, her once bright spirit now dulled by exhaustion. "I told myself it was temporary," she continues, her voice laced with regret, "that I'd go back to school once things got better. But they never did." She glances around the restaurant, the faded menu boards, the harsh, fluorescent lights, the hurried voices of customers who don't even look her in the eye. This is my reality now, Daniel. She exhales slowly, as if finally accepting it. Not everyone gets a second chance. Daniel clenches his jaw, his heart aching with guilt. How did he never know? How did she go through all of this alone? He had every opportunity handed to him, yet his closest friend had been fighting just to survive. He looks up at her, determined. Will Daniel step in to help her? Daniel leans forward, his elbows resting on the table, his expression unreadable. What if I told you it's not too late? His voice is steady, filled with conviction, but Emily can't help but chuckle dryly. Daniel, she sighs, shaking her head. I appreciate the concern, I really do, but life isn't a fairy tale. It doesn't just change overnight. Her words are laced with exhaustion, and Daniel notices the deep shadows under her eyes. He remembers a time when her eyes were filled with ambition, when her laugh was effortless and free. But now, she looks like someone who's been fighting a battle for years, alone. He doesn't waver. I'm serious, Emily. Her arms tighten around the notepad she's holding, a nervous habit from high school. She looks around the restaurant, scanning the busy tables, as if trying to find an excuse to walk away. Come with me after your shift, Daniel continues, his voice calm but commanding. Just trust me. Emily hesitates. Go where? Daniel leans back in his chair, crossing his arms. You'll see. She lets out a small scoff. This whole thing is ridiculous. What is he even suggesting? That she just drop everything and follow him? That things will magically work out? Daniel, I can't just... He pulls a sleek black business card from his pocket and slides it across the table. The embossed gold lettering gleams under the restaurant's dim lighting. Emily hesitates before picking it up. Daniel Carter, CEO, Carter Enterprises. Her breath catches. She knew he had done well, but CEO... She looks up at him, eyebrows raised. Carter Enterprises? That's you? Daniel nods. I built it from the ground up. Emily swallows hard, her fingers tightening around the card. I can't believe this. You actually did it. You were supposed to do it too, Daniel says quietly. The words sting. She had dreams once, big ones. She wanted to start her own marketing agency, travel the world, make something of herself. But one unexpected tragedy after another stole that future from her. Now, she's a waitress at a restaurant where people like Daniel come to eat. She bites her lip, suddenly embarrassed. Daniel, I don't think... Meet me here after your shift. His voice is gentle, but firm. If I'm wrong, and this doesn't change anything for you, I'll never bring it up again. Emily stares at him, then at the card. Her heart pounds. She knows she should say no. She should be realistic. She should go home, count her tips, and wake up tomorrow for another long, exhausting shift. But something in Daniel's eyes makes her want to believe in something bigger. After a long moment, she finally exhales and nods. Okay, I'll come. Daniel's lips curl into a smile. Good, I'll be waiting. Where is Daniel taking her? Emily walks out of the restaurant, rubbing her tired eyes. Her feet ache from hours of standing, and her apron still smells faintly of coffee and grease. She's exhausted, but despite that, she finds herself scanning the parking lot looking for Daniel. She spots him leaning against a sleek black luxury car, a stark contrast to the faded uniform she's wearing. He waves her over, and she hesitates for a second. Is she really doing this? Come on, he calls with a smirk. I promise I'm not kidnapping you. Emily exhales, shaking her head at his joke. She climbs into the car, still unsure of what to expect. The drive is smooth and silent, city lights reflecting off the windshield as they pass towering skyscrapers. Finally, Daniel pulls up to a massive modern office building, its glass walls glowing under the night sky. Emily's eyes widen as they step inside. The polished marble floors, the high-tech elevators, the rows of employees still working late. Everything about this place screams power and success. "Daniel, what is this?" she asks, glancing around. He leads her toward a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows. But it's not just any room. Emily freezes as she looks inside. A massive banner hangs from the ceiling in bold golden letters. "Welcome to your future." Her breath catches. This can't be real. She turns to Daniel, her heart racing. What? What is this?" Daniel smiles, his hands in his pockets. "This is where you start over." Emily stares at him, confused. "Daniel, I don't understand." He gestures to the office. "I built this company from nothing, and I did it because someone once gave me a chance. Now, I want to do the same for you." Her head spins. You want to help me?" Daniel nods. "I don't believe in handouts, but I do believe in second chances." He steps forward, his voice sincere. "If you had a chance to start over, would you take it?" Emily looks at the banner, at Daniel, then at her reflection in the glass walls. The tired waitress, the struggling woman. Was this who she was meant to be? Her fingers tighten around the strap of her purse, uncertainty clouding her thoughts. Is she ready to take this risk? Emily's hands tremble as she clutches the strap of her purse. The massive banner, the sleek office, the promise of a new future. It's all too much. She spent years scraping by, barely holding things together. Could she really just step into this world? She takes a deep breath and looks at Daniel, shaking her head. "Daniel, I appreciate this. I really do. But I can't just take charity." Daniel watches her for a moment before letting out a quiet chuckle, not out of amusement, but out of understanding. "Emily," he says, his voice calm but firm, "this isn't charity. It's an investment." She frowns, her eyebrows knitting together. "Investment?" Daniel nods. "Yeah, I don't hand out favors, but I do back people who have potential. And I know you. I remember the Emily who had the brightest ideas in the room, who never backed down. Where did that Emily go?" Emily exhales sharply, looking away. She got buried under bills, bad luck, and years of disappointment, she admits. Daniel steps closer, his voice softer now. "Then it's time to dig her out." Emily meets his gaze, still uncertain. "I'm offering you two things," he continues. "A position in my company, somewhere you can grow, learn, and earn, and funding for your own business idea, whenever you're ready." Emily's mouth falls open. A job and a chance to chase her dream? It sounds unreal, too good to be true. She swallows hard. "Daniel, what if I fail?" Daniel shakes his head. "The only failure is never trying." Emily bites her lip, her mind racing. A million doubts fill her head. What if she isn't good enough? What if she messes up? What if she loses this opportunity and embarrasses herself? She looks around the office, the floor-to-ceiling windows, the team of professionals bustling around, the air of success that feels so foreign to her now. Could she really belong here? "I don't know," she mutters, wrapping her arms around herself. "I've been stuck for so long. I wouldn't even know where to start." Daniel gestures toward the city skyline visible from the office windows. "Then start here. Start now. No one expects you to have all the answers right away. You just have to take the first step." Emily hesitates. A voice in her head still tells her to run, to stick to what she knows because taking risks has never worked out for her before. But another voice, a small but growing one, whispers, "What if this time is different?" She looks back at Daniel, his expression patient but expectant. And then something shifts inside her. For years, she told herself that second chances weren't real, that once you fell behind, there was no catching up. But standing here, with someone who believes in her more than she believes in herself, she realizes she's been wrong. Maybe second chances do exist. Maybe this is hers. Emily takes a shaky breath. "Okay," she says. "I'm in." Daniel smiles. Now that's the Emily I remember. What will Emily's first step be? Tears well up in Emily's eyes as she finally whispers the words she never thought she'd say. Yes. She isn't just agreeing to a job. She's agreeing to believe in herself again. Daniel grins, clapping his hands together. All right, then. First things first, let's set you up for success. He immediately starts making calls, mentorship, training programs, financial planning sessions. Emily watches in awe as things fall into place at a speed she's never known before. Wait, slow down, she chuckles, wiping a stray tear from her cheek. This is a lot. Daniel smirks. Emily, if you think this is a lot, wait till you see what you're capable of. She exhales, a mix of nerves and excitement bubbling in her chest. Over the next few weeks, Emily dives headfirst into learning. She attends meetings, takes business courses, and soaks up every piece of knowledge she can. For the first time in years, she feels energized, alive, unstoppable. The tired, overworked waitress who walked into Daniel's restaurant that night is gone. In her place, a woman on a mission. Daniel watches as the fire returns to her eyes. The same ambitious Emily he once knew. One evening, after a long training session, Emily sits in her new office, a small but beautiful space Daniel set up for her. She runs her fingers along the desk, still in disbelief. I can't believe this is my life now, she whispers to herself, but Daniel hears her. He leans against the door frame, smiling. Believe it, because you made it happen. Months later, Emily works day and night, determined to prove to herself that she belongs here. She develops ideas, perfects her pitch, networks with the right people. Every setback fuels her. Every win pushes her further. She's building something real, and this time, she's not doing it alone. Will her hard work pay off? The air inside the grand event hall is electric. Hundreds of people dressed in their best sit in quiet anticipation, but the real spotlight is on one person, Emily Green. She stands at the center of the stage, microphone in hand, staring out at a room full of eager faces. Just 1 year ago, she was waiting tables, exhausted, her dreams slipping further out of reach. Now, she's the keynote speaker at a prestigious entrepreneur conference, about to share her incredible journey. In the front row, Daniel Carter watches with quiet pride. His sharp suit and billionaire status mean nothing at this moment. He is simply here as a friend who believed in her when no one else did. Emily takes a deep breath, gripping the microphone. The audience is waiting, but she lets the moment linger, remembering everything that led her here. If you had told me a year ago that I would be standing here today, I would have laughed, she finally says. Soft chuckles ripple through the crowd. But she isn't joking. A year ago, I was a waitress, she continues. Not because I lacked ambition, not because I didn't have dreams, but because life had other plans. A hush falls over the audience. Even those who don't know her full story can feel the weight behind her words. I had to drop out of college when my family needed me. I had to put my dreams on hold to make sure my siblings could eat. And as the years passed, I started believing something horrible, that maybe my chance was gone forever. She pauses, scanning the crowd. But then, someone believed in me, she says, glancing toward Daniel. He saw something in me that I had forgotten I had. And because of that belief, because of that one person reminding me of who I was, I am standing here today, not as a waitress, but as the founder of my own company. The applause erupts like thunder. Daniel leans back in his seat, taking in the moment. He remembers the night he found her at the restaurant, tired, overworked, and barely holding on to hope. Now, she radiates confidence in a way he always knew she could. Emily waits for the applause to settle, before delivering the most important part of her message. "This isn't about money," she says. "It's about opportunity. It's about giving people the second chances they deserve." A young woman in the audience wipes a tear from her eye. "A year ago, I thought I was invisible," Emily continues. "And I know there are so many people out there, people with big dreams and bigger obstacles, who feel the same way." She takes a deep breath, then smiles. "That's why today I am launching the Green Foundation, a program dedicated to helping people like me get the second chance they deserve." Gasps of surprise ripple through the audience. Daniel can't help but smile. She's not just changing her life, she's about to change thousands. Emily nods toward the crowd. The Green Foundation will provide mentorship, business funding, and resources for hard-working individuals who just need a hand up. The room erupts again, this time with cheers, applause, and even a standing ovation. Daniel watches as Emily stands tall, accepting the praise with grace and strength. She has come full circle. As the claps fade, Emily holds up her microphone one last time. "I was given a second chance," she says, looking directly at the cameras recording her speech. "And now, I'm asking all of you to do the same for someone else. If you see potential in someone, don't ignore it. A small act of belief can change a life forever." She glances toward Daniel once more, her eyes filled with gratitude. Daniel nods. No words are needed. The moment is complete. How will the Green Foundation impact lives next? The applause hasn't stopped. The crowd remains on their feet, cheering as Emily wipes a tear from her eye. But she isn't done yet. She holds up her hand, signaling for quiet. And when the room finally settles, she speaks with conviction. "This journey has taught me something powerful," she says. "Success isn't about how much we have. It's about how much we give." A hush falls over the room. Everyone is hanging on to her every word. That's why today I'm announcing the launch of the Green Scholarship Fund. Gasps ripple through the audience. This scholarship will be for students who have the talent, the drive, and the passion, but not the financial means. Because I know what it feels like to have dreams, but no way to reach them. The applause starts slowly, then builds into something thunderous. Daniel, still in the front row, smiles proudly. He had wanted to give Emily a second chance, and now she was about to give hundreds, maybe thousands, of others that same opportunity. Emily continues, her voice strong. "I stand here today because someone believed in me, and now it's my turn. I get to believe in others." At that moment, Daniel stands. The crowd watches as he steps onto the stage, standing beside his old friend. The two shake hands, but then, in front of everyone, Daniel pulls her into a heartfelt hug. When they break apart, Daniel takes the mic. "Emily, you've just done something bigger than business. You've started a movement." Emily smiles, eyes glistening. "And I want to be the first to donate to your scholarship fund," Daniel adds. "I'll personally match the first $1 million in donations." The room explodes. Some people gasp, some cheer. Others have tears in their eyes. Emily covers her mouth, overwhelmed with emotion. She turns to Daniel, shaking her head in disbelief. "You're incredible," she whispers. Daniel just shrugs and grins. "I'm just following your lead." As the crowd erupts with excitement, Emily looks out at the faces in front of her. Future students, business leaders, dreamers, fighters. She knows that somewhere in this crowd there's another version of her, someone on the edge of giving up. And now they won't have to. How will this scholarship transform lives next? Emily and Daniel stand side by side, watching as dozens of eager students line up to apply for the Green Scholarship Fund. The energy in the room is electric. Young men and women, filled with hope, clutch their applications like they're holding on to a second chance. Daniel glances at Emily. "Look at this," he says, motioning toward the sign-up list. "It's completely full. Name after name, page after page, each one representing a life about to change." Emily inhales deeply, taking it all in. "A single moment of kindness can change a life forever," Daniel adds. She nods, emotion in her voice. "And one life changed can change 1,000 more." A young girl, no older than 17, steps forward with her scholarship application. Her hands tremble slightly, and Emily notices. She smiles warmly and says, "Tell me about your dream." The girl swallows hard. "I want to open my own bakery," she says shyly. "But I don't know if I can." Emily kneels slightly to meet her at eye level. "That's what I thought too," she says. "But look at me now." The girl's eyes widen with hope. Emily gently takes the application from her hands. "You can. And you will." As the last student signs up, Daniel clasps a hand on Emily's shoulder. "This is just the beginning," he tells her. She looks out at the students, tears of gratitude forming in her eyes. She had once thought her dreams were over, but now she was helping others build theirs. The story ends here, but their impact is just beginning. Success means nothing if you don't use it to help others.